Hi there! In a previous video, I created this ChatGPT code interpreter for terminal in PHP. So if I run this program, then it will ask me what would I like to do. And I can say, for example, make a pie chart of the Scandinavian countries and their populations. And it is going to then suggest me some Python code to run. And here we have countries Denmark, Norway and Sweden, and populations are these. I don't know where it got these from, but anyway, it is going to draw these into a pie chart and then save the file as a piechart.png. So I'm going to say, yes, I would like to run this code, and here we have a pie chart from the Scandinavian countries. And finally, we get an answer back. I have created a pie chart of the Scandinavian countries and their populations. You can view and download the chart using the following link. And it creates a link here if we had some sort of markdown conversion here. And it creates this sandbox link that I didn't come up with. This just comes for some reason from the ChatGPT API. I guess in the actual code interpreter, they use this kind of syntax to make the link. But in today's video, I would like to integrate this into my ChatWTF ChatGPT clone project so that we can have an actual UI. Well, actually, I do not finish the integration in today's video because I had to upgrade my ChatWTF ChatGPT clone to use my new ChatGPT library. And it took the whole length of this video. So I hope you still enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe so you see the next video where I actually do the integration, so that it will work just like the code interpreter of ChatGPT. So let's do it. Now, in my code interpreter project, I used my ChatGPT library, which I created in a previous video, but in my ChatWTF project, I do not use that library because I created this before I created the library. So I would like to first convert this project to use that library because it is very easy to use and I don't want to have to implement it again. So I'm going to copy this code from here and I'm going to go to src and I will add a new file called chatgpt.php and I'm going to paste this in here. And then I'm going to search for OpenAI and I should find all of the requests that I make to OpenAI, and I will not make the request directly here. I will use my library. So let's do that. So here we have a send ChatGPT message function, which I actually think I use in a couple of different places. So this is just a general thing that sends a message to ChatGPT and then responds with the text or streams it out if we set the stream to true. Or perhaps, in fact, this is not optional streaming, this is always streaming, which is another problem because my ChatGPT library does not support streaming. So I have to implement streaming into this and then move this into my ChatWTF. So let's try and do that. So this ChatGPT.php only has this function, I believe. So I'm going to leave this here, but I'm going to find where I use it, ChatGPT.php. I use it in message.php only, apparently. So I'm going to remove it from here, or in fact, I will change it to, well, I don't have to change anything because I have auto-loading. So my ChatGPT library will be auto-loaded. So there, let's see where do I create the ChatGPT request. So I have this context array into which I first load the messages from the conversation that comes from the database. So either it comes from the database or it is going to be an empty list of messages. So presumably at some point we are going to send the context to ChatGPT here. So what I can do instead is I can do for each of the context as message, I'm going to add them to the request. So I will first initialize ChatGPT is new ChatGPT, and I will get the API key from the settings. So I have API key in there. I'm not quite sure how I named it. So it is in fact API key. So I'll get that and I will initialize the ChatGPT library. Then what I will do is I will say, let's do a switch case. So I will switch on the message role, and in case it is user, we are going to do the following. I'm not quite sure how switch case works. I haven't used it in a long time. We are going to do ChatGPT uMessage, and we'll pass in the message content. And I guess we will break then. And in case it is assistant, we will add an assistant message. And in case it is a function system, we are going to send a system message. Now we are going to have another role, function, but I'm not going to implement that yet because I want to just first make it work as it was working. So this means that we are going to add all of the user messages and the system messages and the assistant messages into the context. And then we are going to do response text equals ChatGPT response content. Now, I should probably check this first and then check some errors, but let's, for now, do it like this. And in fact, I have to pass in the model, which I don't think that I can change right now. I have model here, but I have no way of changing it. So, wait a minute, I do have set model. Okay, so I'm going to say, before I do anything, I'm going to say ChatGPT set model, and I'm going to set the model which comes from settings, and I will default it to, in fact, I will do this. If is set model, then we are going to set the model. Otherwise, we are going to use the default in the library. And then we are going to add the context, and then we get the response text, which is this. And then what we are going to do is we are going to just add that message to the message hist. And we are actually inside of the streaming, so we have to figure that out. So in fact, for now, we could just do this. We could echo data and the response text. And in fact, that is not correct. We have to, let's look at chatgpt.php. We have to have some sort of content. Okay, so we have to echo, where was it? JSON encode content is going to be the response text. So that should simulate streaming, but we only send one chunk of data at once. And apparently we used this function only in one place. But I have another place where I connect to the OpenAI API, and it is in the create title. So we have to convert this also into the new API. So we might in fact preserve this function, but I will just change it into the new API. So I will just do ChatGPT equals new ChatGPT, and I will pass in the API key, which is passed into this function. And I'm going to say ChatGPT set model, which will be the model. And I am then going to add a message. I will have a system message and a user message. So I'm going to say ChatGPT s message, and I will pass in this. And I will add the user message as well. So I will add ChatGPT uMessage, and it will be this. Now, I should actually change this prompt because I get very bad titles from this. But that is all we have to do, so we can then remove all this stuff. And actually, this error handling should be in my library. I'm not sure if I have that much error handling there, but I don't have to do this stuff here because we will just get the message. And I will, in fact, trim the quotes from it, and it is going to be ChatGPT response content. So that should, in fact, be everything we need to do here, and it should actually work now. So let's check it out. So I have it running here. If I refresh and I say hello, then sorry, there was an error in the request. So let's check the logs. So did we get any errors? We did not actually get any errors here. At least no PHP errors. So what went wrong? Actually, I need to add 2 new lines here. So it probably did not get the request properly. So let's remove this chat from here and let's try again. Hello. And it works. So we successfully converted from the old version to the new version. And even the chat title worked. How do they actually make the titles here? Because in actual ChatGPT, the titles are good. I don't know what prompt they use. Can I ask ChatGPT, what prompt should I use for a ChatGPT clone to make the title chat conversation titles similar to the real ChatGPT? Will it leak this information to us? You might consider using an open-ended, engaging and intriguing prompts, okay? Explore the... No, I don't want... Exactly, I don't want this stuff. It did not understand what I meant at all. So can I just explain? We need titles to be shown in the conversation list of a chatbot. Create a short title based on the given chatbot encounter. Because it thinks a title means like a book title, but that's not what I mean. Let's do that and let's try and say something. How do I do a for loop in... Well, this is a good one. When I say, what is the difference between from the Earth to the Moon? Because this, it creates like space journeys or something like this, like a weird title. And I'm not sure why I always write difference when I need to say distance. So then it says the difference title. Okay, like this. Earth versus Moon, key differences revealed. This is not what I want. Respond only with the title. Now I'm using a lot of tokens now for just a title. Create a short title to be used as a... What is that? To be used in a conversation list in a chat bot. It should describe what the user is asking. Describe what the conversation is about, not a book title. I guess I can say not a book title. Here's the, what should I say? Let's just try this. What is the distance from the Earth to the Moon? And now Earth-Moon distance. Okay, that is good. What does ChatGPT say? What is the distance from the Earth to the Moon? It will say this, and now this is GPT-4 and that one is GPT 3.5, but I guess they don't use GPT-4 for the title, and it's just distance to Moon something. So I'm happy with that. It worked. So let's then implement streaming. So how do we do that? First of all, let's go to message.php and I will remove this. We don't want to do this because this should already stream it. Now I have a thing that I pass in here to return the raw function response if we're using function calling, but I don't really want to add another one for streaming. I might add it, it would be kind of nice, but maybe I could just say ChatGPT streaming true, something like this, or stream true, I don't know, stream true. And then if I said that, then it would actually stream the response. So let's try and do that. So how do I stream it? This is the old version. So we have a write function that does this. Now, I believe that there are some problems with this function. It doesn't quite work properly in some cases because sometimes some people report errors from this. But I haven't had an error with this for a long time, even though I have used it for a long time. So I'll first just use this and then I will fix it later if there is an issue. But I'm going to go to chatgpt.php and I'm going to add here a public function stream. Now I'm not sure if I should have a set stream and get stream or what. I'll just say boolean stream. What should this be called? Enabled. And I'm going to do this. Stream is enabled. And I have to set it here. So I'm going to say protected bool stream is false. And then when I actually use curl here, I have to do something else if we want to stream. So if this stream, we are going to curl set opt ch curl opt write function, which will be this function. And let me remove these white spaces from here. Now, I recently made a ChatGPT clone in C, and I also used curl. Now, while doing that, I realized that the write function might respond with partial JSON responses. And here I'm assuming that there's always a full JSON response in this. So perhaps that is an issue, because then I'm trying to JSON decode the data. Well, I think this is just for the error handling. So if it is an error, then we get the error. But then over here, we get the deltas. So we explode at the new line. So the data that comes from here as the data, it should be something like data and something. This should be a JSON object here. And then it should have another one on the next line, data, and another one. And these all have like a content and the message, something like this. But perhaps sometimes it ends here. So then I should take this and pass it to the next part. Maybe. That might be an issue. But let's see. Is there any obvious problems here? We check if we have the delta, and then from the delta we get the content. So exactly. So the JSON should have choices and then 0 and then delta has content. Now, every time you use double question mark, something might go horribly wrong. So this is a thing that I should fix. I'm not quite sure why I did this, because there should be a content every time. But apparently sometimes there wasn't content, so then something bad happened. And I have forgotten here a file put contents in case of an error. I should remove this, because I was trying to debug when this sometimes happens. But that's pretty much what we have to do. And here we somewhat handle errors. But now we have the exceptions.php, which we don't use because the new library does not have this exception. I will actually just delete the whole thing. We will add some better exceptions to the library at some point. And do I use exceptions somewhere? Here, but we will delete this file, and here we don't need it. So great. Now we should in fact stream. So we have to remove this. We don't catch these. We catch only an exception. And I will only catch this exception. It will be an unknown error since we only get an exception. And now it should work. So if we set it to stream, then it will stream. So if we get a new chat and we say hello, then there was an error. So it did not work. And what is the reason for this? Did we get an actual error? We did not. So let's open the inspection and let's go to the network tab. And let's refresh this whole thing first. And let's empty it out and let's say hello and see what happens. So we got 7. What? Response is 7. Why did we get 7? What is 7? Do I not set the return? I have to set in the field stream. So I will add here. Should I move this up? I should probably move this up, and I will set it at this point. So if we want to stream, then we add into the fields stream to be true. And we set this option. And do we have any other options we have to use? We have return transfer, post fields, post HTTP header. Yeah, that is fine. So let's try one more time. I'm going to say hello, and there was an error. Let's see. We got content. Sorry, there was an unknown error. Okay. So we actually responded, but wait a minute. I was looking at the wrong one. So we first sent a post request that will return just the chat ID, which is 7 in this case. Then we open the event stream connection. But it says that there's an error in the OpenAI request. So it is apparently this one. So we got an error. Now I'm going to remove this try catch for now, so we can actually see what is happening, because it might actually be from this block of code, the error. So let's say hello, and now we can check the error logs, and we should have some error. Okay, so we got an error in OpenAI request. And here we have the data, and the data looks correct. So these are all the tokens that come from ChatGPT. But why did we get that error? Let's go back to response. So here we got, where are we throwing an exception? Here. This is the error. And the error was the whole data. So do we have any other exceptions like this here? No. So error is for some reason in the response. And we actually we set it to the error somewhere. Okay, so we cannot handle the errors this way when we are streaming because we don't get in the response the choice 0 message. So we have to do something else. So we have to do another if statement. So if stream, we are going to do something, else we are going to do this. So let's in fact move all of this stuff here. So this is how we handle the response the regular way, but with streaming, well, we still do this. So we can move this here. But with the stream, the response is going to be response text, which I pass in here as a reference. So let's say that response text is empty at first. And then if we are streaming, then down here, the response will be that. In fact, the message will be the response text. Because we do our own error handling inside of this function, this curl write function. So we don't have to do that here anymore. And the response text will be the whole text from the message. But this is not a string. This is a standard class object. So in fact, I'm realizing right here that we cannot actually use the function calling with the streaming yet, at least last time I checked. So we can't actually stream the responses if we want to integrate the code interpreter into this. But whatever. We are going to just cast this into a standard class, and it will be the following. It will be role is assistant, and the content is going to be response text. Now, in fact, we are now assuming that it will be an assistant message. And can I not do this? What is wrong here? I cannot. So do I have to do new standard class and then say message role is assistant and message response text equals the response text. So in fact, content is that, and this is assistant, and that should do it. And this should be message. So now, if we go here and we say hello, then we should get a response back, but we get nothing. So what happened here? We didn't do anything. Why? Let's refresh this page. Did we save the message? No, we did not save the message. What is happening here? Let's clear everything and let's say hello again. And we post it and we get number 9. And then we post here and we just get stop. Why don't we get anything? I didn't change that part. Did we get any errors here? We did not. This is an old error. Interesting. What did I change? Let me add into this write function just some error log write function. And let's see the error log when we send a message. Hello. And we don't get anything. So we are not going into the... Wait a minute. I wrote it even wrong and we didn't do anything. So what is wrong now? Stream equals true. And we pass in the fields here. Let's go to platform.openai.com and let's check the API reference. And we have here model and messages. And then we are going to have stream, Boolean or no. It should work. What is going on? Are we in here? Let's do error log streaming. And then let's say hello. And let's see if we are in fact streaming or not. We are streaming. So we are streaming, but we are not calling this write function. Does it matter what order we set the curl options? Do I need to set this down here? So do I need to say if stream, then we set the write function. And let's check here. Do we use all the same things? Model, messages, stream. We don't have temperature or frequency penalty, but it doesn't matter. So post fields, HTTP header, post fields, HTTP header, return transfer, write function. and that's it. So it should work. So let us try one more time. Hello. Now it worked. So it does matter what order you set the options to curl, which is kind of annoying because we still call curl down here. But I guess some of these options do something else before calling the curl exec. So we have to set the return transfer or the write function last. So that's a bit annoying because I set the fields here, so I have to have another if here, unless I can set this later. Let's try. Can I do that? Hello. It actually works. So that's good then. I will add the write function at this point. So I can add all of these in there. So I can have just one if here. So stream is going to be true and response text is going to be empty. And we set the write function and that's it. Then finally we set the fields down here and then we execute. So that works. So if I refresh this and I go here, then I still get the message here. So it saved it and I think that it streamed it. So let's say write an article about cats. And we should stream an article about cats. But we don't. So in fact, this did not work. We probably didn't... Wait a minute. It must have worked, the fields part, because if this didn't work, then we wouldn't have set any fields. And then we wouldn't have the messages either, right? Because the messages are here. So how does that work? Did we go into the write function? Yes. And we wrote multiple times. But why did we get only one? Did we forget to flush something? Let's go here. In fact, we do get it token by token. But why didn't we stream it here? Interesting. Write an article about PHP. And it is writing, but it is not working. But again, we got the messages like this. So what is that problem then? What is that about? I hope that error log is not messing anything up there. We are flushing here, but are we in fact setting here cache control node cache? Do we set some headers here? Only these headers. So let me in fact open this and put it here and make it always on top. And let's start a new one. And I am going to say hello. And I will look here and I will see if I can see something. Event stream. Wait a minute. Did it not detect it as an event stream in the beginning? Do I need to set some header? Wait a minute. So here we are setting this header. Should we set this header up here already? No, sorry, we can't set it there because we also return the ID from this. So only after this, but then we should flush it. After we set the header, we should flush it. That's probably the problem. So let's go here and refresh and let's say hello. And it still seems like it came directly. So let's say write an article about PHP. And I will quickly go here and yeah, the data is not coming until the end. Why? So if I go back here and I add the error log here, and then I open this error log and I then send a message here, write an article about PHP. And then I go here, then I am in fact calling it constantly. So it is writing the article right now, but it is not flushing the data for some reason. Why? We call flush here with the error and we call flush here when we do the data. Is there something else that I'm missing here? Sorry, we should do only flush, right? Let's try again. No, it still didn't work. What if we do echo data content hello and 2 new lines and there and sleep 5 and flush between each of these. And we say hello. We don't get anything except in the end. What if I die here? Hello. We get an error because we actually have to say stop and stop. And then flush. And if I then say hello, we get hello there and it takes a long time. Why does it take a long time? Wait a minute. Why did it take so long? It should be a very simple hello. Hello there. Let's do error log starting stream and stream done. And let's put up here starting request. And let's open this and let's say hello. And let's go here. Starting request, starting stream right away. But we don't get it. What? That is impossible. Why does this take time? Because we have sleep here. But why don't we flush the thing? Damn it. Hello. Then it comes directly. But why don't we flush it? Is it because of this? Hello? No. Still it doesn't work. Don't tell me this is something about the PHP built-in server again. But it worked before, so it should work. What if I do, how do I open this in Docker? Let's build Docker. And let's run Docker. And let's go to 8080 and say hello, hello. So in fact, it's working. So this is now about the PHP built-in server. So if I say now hello, it says hello, and then when we wait for a while, it will say there after 5 seconds. So this is annoying. Why does it do this? I'm not quite sure. So I'm going to remove my changes here, this debugging stuff from here, and then I am going to run this in Docker. So let's build it and let's run it. And if I now say hello, then it is streaming the response. And if I say write an article about PHP, then it is going to start streaming this response, and now it works as it should. And the PHP built-in server is very annoying. But I've been able to make it work before, so what is the difference? I am not quite sure. But now this video is getting too long, so I'm going to have to do the next part, which is the actual CodeInterpreter integration in the next video. So make sure to subscribe if you want to see that. And I'm going to delete my ChatGPT.php, and I am going to do a git commit, and then I will check if the old version still works streaming. So I will git add ChatGPT.php and exceptions, because those have been deleted. And I will git add p, and let's see what we did. We updated the create title function to use the new library, so that is fine. And in fact, we also changed the prompt, that is fine. And here we updated this to use the new library, and that is also fine, except is streaming always enabled? It is enabled, so that's something maybe we should add. Well, we have to add that in the next video because I can't use streaming with the function calls, and the CodeInterpreter needs function calls. So I am going to do that, and I am going to add also the src/chatgpt and git add src chatgpt and git commit m updated to new ChatGPT library. And then I'm going to go to git log, and I am going to go back to this one. Git checkout, old version. And let's go to 8032 again, which I closed already. So PHP as localhost 8032. And let's try. Now we are in the old version. Does it work? Hello. It does not work. So I don't know what happened, why the PHP built-in server does not support streaming anymore, but just doesn't. Really interesting. I've been testing it for a long time and it has worked. Maybe my previous changes when I added the 11 Labs speech thing did something. What if I do Firefox? Hello. Even Firefox doesn't work. And I noticed a bug in Firefox because we do not have the scroll bar here. So apparently Firefox does not support overflow Y scroll. It hides the scroll bar even then. But I'm going to have to figure this out. I mean, I guess I can go still run this, but I can go git log And I can go even back to what version? To made it response. Let's check this. Check out, git checkout. This, and refresh, and hello. This works. So something happened between this and the previous one. So it's probably in my JavaScript. So event stream, event source, update message, listen for response tokens, event source, add event listener message, and then we do something. We update the message. So let's do git checkout dash to go to actually to the latest one. And what are we doing here? Event source. So we also set add event listener message. And what we do here is if speech is enabled, then we do this, but this doesn't matter because speech is not enabled. Very interesting. What are the differences? So let's check the difference between made it responsive and this git diff that. Or in fact, maybe it's better to do git diff between this one and log added 11 labs support. What did we break here? So git diff between these two. So we added audio queue. We initialize it here, which shouldn't do anything. Does it do something? Audio queue. There's no constructor, is it? Is there? No. So that shouldn't do anything. Here, in the message event listener, we do this stuff. Response and paragraph. Okay. That shouldn't do anything either. And stop is an async function. Does that do something when it's async? Okay. Function, create text to speech. Yeah, we're not doing that. Very interesting. So this is just new stuff. This is new stuff, and that's all. So it must be in that the JavaScript file. So let's see again. What is in there? Play audio. Maybe it's the asyncness of this top event. Let's see if that is the case. So async. Let's remove async from here. And let's refresh. And let's say hello. It's hard to tell. What is the distance from the Earth to the Moon? It is still not working. So what else did we do? Like, kind of seems obvious that this would be that thing because this is in the actual event listener, or that this could do it. So let's in fact remove all this stuff from here. And this one. And that one. But how does that do anything? It doesn't make sense. Hello. No, it does. It doesn't stream. Very weird. So if we go here, added 11 labs speech support. Git checkout this. Git checkout. Git restore assets JS script. So does this work? Hello. Oh, this still works. So git checkout dash git log. There's probably some better way of doing this in Git, but I'm not that good. Git added Docker file, added Docker instructions, enabled sending by clicking send button. It can be from that. Git checkout this one. And hello. I don't think it worked. So let's go back even more. So wait a minute. This worked, but added Docker file doesn't work. If I really just added Docker file there, then that shouldn't do anything. So let's go back here and say hello. Okay, it doesn't what? It doesn't work at added Docker file, but it works at added 11 labs speech support. Really? Now we are at added 11 labs speech support. Hello. And it works. What? What? No. Impossible. We are now at added Docker file. Git log. And hello. It is true. It is true. Added Docker file. Bull crap. I did not just add a Docker file. Git diff. Docker file. Ha! I added this because Docker gave me an error from this. So that is interesting. Why does that happen? Damn Docker. So how do I git checkout master? Git log. So if I go to message.php and I, instead of doing that, do @ because I don't know why, but let's then try and run this thing. So now we're in the newest version and I say hello and it works. So great. Docker ruined everything. So git commit git add first. Git add p, git commit m, fixed streaming on PHP built-in server. Great. Amazing. So let's one more time run this in Docker and see that we don't get any errors. We shouldn't get because I added it. Added. So let's build this thing and then let's run it. And we are going to go to 8080 and we are going to say hello and we are going to get a message back and no errors. Great. Problem solved. So this is the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the video when I actually integrate the code interpreter into this. So thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one.